Hi everybody, in this video we are going to discuss about the subject called as the AIDS. Okay, we are going to discuss about the topic called as AIDS. So here first of all we should know some basic points regarding the AIDS. Okay, before we learn about how this disease called as AIDS infects a particular person, let us try to understand the basic points regarding this particular disease called as AIDS. So first thing that we have to remember is the word AIDS. Okay, aid means help. AIDS is the word that is used for as a short form for acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. So here it is very clearly given in this full form that when you are saying that it is a disease that is acquired, okay, that is acquired in the lifetime due to what? Immunodeficiency. Means what? Due to the weakening of the immune system. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Syndrome means what? When there are many diseases attacked at a time showing all the symptoms of different diseases, we call it as the syndrome. So let us make it very clear and try to understand the simple basic points regarding the AIDS now. So first of all, as we have seen, AIDS means acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Now here we have to keep in mind, what do you mean by this full form, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome? What does it mean? It means that deficiency of the immune system. Okay, deficiency of the immune system acquired during the lifetime of an individual. During the lifetime of an individual. So what do you mean by this? It is because of the deficiency of the immune system, a particular person may suffer with this particular disease called as AIDS. Now the question is how the immune system is becoming weak. We are going to come across that and answer that question also, how the immune system is made weak. But here let us remember, once you know the meaning, full form of the word AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, let us remember that it means that deficiency of the immune system, acquired, we are acquiring in the lifetime, acquired during the lifetime of an individual is called as AIDS now. Now, if you are looking at it, we have to remember that it is not a congenital disease. Congenital means what? It is not an inborn disease. It is not an inborn disease. Inborn disease means what? There are some diseases which will be there present or from the birth of the child. Okay, from the birth of the child, like hemophilia or like color blindness and etc. There are different types of diseases that can be there from the birth of the child. So those diseases which are there from the birth are called as inborn, or otherwise the technical term we are using here is congenital diseases. Diseases which are there from the birth are called as congenital. So AIDS is not a congenital disease. It is not a congenital disease. Means what? It is not there from the birth. Okay, it will not be there from the birth. So what do you mean by that? It is acquired during the lifetime. Okay, it may be caused during the lifetime of a particular person. So we have to remember that. Okay, AIDS, it is not a congenital disease. Okay, it is not a congenital disease. And the next point is that syndrome. Okay, syndrome. What do you mean by the word syndrome? It is a group of symptoms of different types of diseases. Okay, different types of diseases. Please remember, as we are going through this, you will understand it very clearly. When a person is suffering with AIDS, when a person is suffering with AIDS, that particular person may be easily attacked. Please remember, will be easily attacked by different types of diseases. Okay, maybe because of different types of diseases. Maybe he will be suffering at a time with diarrhea or pneumonia and like that. So many diseases will be attacked at a time and those symptoms will be shown at a time. So generally what happens, there may be one particular person suffering with one particular disease, and if for every disease there will be certain symptoms. Based on those symptoms we decide that it is that particular disease. For typhoid there will be certain symptoms. For malaria certain symptoms. Dengue certain symptoms will be there. But here what happens is that it will be showing a group of symptoms. Means an AIDS patient will be suffering with many types of disease at a time. That is what is actually AIDS. In simple we can say that there may, if a person is suffering with many different types of symptoms, okay, we call it as what? Syndrome. And that syndrome can be maybe because of one reason, that is maybe because of AIDS. Okay, maybe because of AIDS. So here let us remember the word syndrome. Syndrome means what now? A group of symptoms that are related to different types of diseases. A group of symptoms that are related to different types of diseases. Please remember that. So you have to remember the word syndrome now. Now, it is a disorder of the cell-mediated immune system. Please remember that. Okay, it is a disorder that is related to what? Cell-mediated immune system. Okay, cell-mediated immune system. This is very important. We studied already in the previous videos. Cell-mediated immune system, humoral-mediated immune system. So this disease is mainly focusing, or it is a disorder that is related to what? Cell-mediated immune system. Means the cells which are participating in protecting the body are the ones which are being affected by this AIDS or HIV virus that we are going to come across. And now, if you are seeing, as we said, it is a disorder of the cell-mediated immune system. In this, what happens is there will be decrease in the number of T cells. Okay, there will be decrease in the number of T cells of a person suffering with what? AIDS. Okay, suffering with AIDS now. Now, here, what happens is that when a person is suffering with AIDS, the cells which are there called as what? T cells will be reduced in number. And these T cells will play a crucial role. What is the role that is played by the T cells? It is these T cells which help in what? Stimulating the B cells, and then the B cells will be producing what? Antibodies. Okay, B cells will be producing the antibodies. That we call it as what? Again, humoral mediated immunity. But here, please remember, when any person is suffering with any disease, first it is the T cells which will identify that pathogen that entered into the body. A foreign molecule or a foreign organism, when it enters inside into the body, it is these T cells which will identify. And these T cells, what they do, they go and stimulate what? The B cells. Then the B cells will be producing the antibodies, and these antibodies will destroy those foreign particles or molecules or foreign organism. But here, that's why first in the case of AIDS, okay, HIV virus will first attack the T cells and destroy these T cells. So it is like T cells are messengers which are giving the message to the B cells and producing the antibodies, so that antibodies will destroy that particular microorganism. But if these T cells are not there, there are no messengers which will stimulate what? The B cells. So that's why here the microorganism, means the virus, HIV virus, which we are going to study, okay, because I did not mention here the virus, okay, here in the case of disease AIDS, the HIV virus will first attack what cells? T cells. Please remember that, okay, that's an important point, okay. In the case of the disease AIDS, HIV virus will attack the T cells and destroy the T cells. Please remember this. So when the T cells are being destroyed, they cannot stimulate what? The B cells, and they cannot produce the antibodies. So there will be decrease in the number of T cells when a person is suffering with what? AIDS. And it results in what? In the loss of natural defense against viral infection. So please remember, it is not only in the case of AIDS that the T cells will stimulate the B cells. No, let it be any type of disease. When we are attacked, okay, the first thing that happens is that when a foreign particle, foreign molecule enters inside, foreign organism enters inside, immediately the T cells will be activated, and they will stimulate the message B cells to produce the antibodies. But here in the case of AIDS, what is happening? This HIV virus causing the disease called as AIDS, when it destroys these T cells, obviously what happens is the natural defense, okay, immune system becomes weak. So when our immune system becomes weak, what happens? Now there is a way for any disease to come and enter. Disease causing organism can enter inside and cause the disease, and they rapidly multiply because there is nothing which identifies these microorganisms. So we should remember the basic point. Any time, okay, any microbe, okay, any microbe, okay, when any type of microbes are entering inside into the body, it is the T cells which will identify these microbes and then send the messages to what? B cells, so that these B cells are producing what? Antibodies. These antibodies will destroy the microbes, or otherwise we also call the molecules called as what? Antigen. So that's why we already studied antibody antigen reaction. Okay, antibody antigen reaction we said. But here, when AIDS is caused, HIV virus is totally destroying these T cells. When T cells are not there, it is easy for the microbes to enter inside into the body and cause the damage. And that's why we said, let it be any disease causing microorganism, that specific disease, okay, symptoms will be shown, and that's why we are saying a group of symptoms. Means many diseases at a time, they will be caused to that person, showing the symptoms of those different types of diseases. It's all because of the destruction of the T cells. So when the T cells are destroyed, B cells are not stimulated for producing the antibodies, and it results in what? Weakening of the natural immune system, and which leads to viral infection. And now, how and when is this disease is being discovered? If you are looking at the discovery of this disease called as AIDS, for the first time it is identified in USA. Okay, it is identified in USA in the year 1981. In the year 1981, in those people who are practicing homosexual. Okay, those people who are practicing homosexual means what? Those people, male and male, female and female, when they are practicing sex, we call it as what? Homosex. So, in those people who are practicing homosex, it is being identified. It is being identified. So here we have to remember, first it is being discovered in USA in the year 1981 in the people who are practicing homosex. Means in homosexuals, this disease being identified. Okay, and AIDS virus, this disease is identified in USA, and the AIDS virus, okay, was isolated and identified by two scientists. Okay, by two scientists. The names of those scientists you have to remember. Professor Louis Montagnier. Okay, Professor Louis Montagnier is from French. He is a French. Okay, he is a French. And there is another professor called as Robert Gallo. He is an American. Okay, he is an American. So these two scientists, okay, Louis Montagnier, Professor Louis Montagnier and Professor Robert Gallo, okay, from different countries, okay, from French and from America, USA. These, okay, they identified and they isolated and identified HIV virus independently. They are not togetherly. Okay, they did not identify and isolated this particular virus togetherly. They did it separately in their own countries maybe, and that's why we have to remember that they have isolated and identified this particular virus causing AIDS independently in the year 1984. Okay, in the year 1984, these two scientists have identified or isolated and identified the virus which is causing the AIDS. Okay, which is causing the AIDS. Now, you might have a question, when it is being discovered in India. Now, if you are looking at in India, first case suffering with AIDS is being identified in Chennai in the year 1986. Okay, first case suffering with AIDS is being identified in India, in Chennai in the year 1986. Okay, in the year 1986. It is believed, okay, it is believed that AIDS is being, okay, they present in the monkeys, especially in Africa, and from the monkeys it is being carried to the human beings. Okay, it is carried to the human beings. This is a research that is being done, and it is being identified in the year 1960s only that there was some disease that is being carried from the monkeys to the human beings, and later on they identified that it is what? The disease called as AIDS. And it is also believed, okay, in different articles they say that AIDS is also caused to the humans because of the chimpanzees. Okay, because of the chimpanzees, because there are a group of people, okay, who eat, okay, these chimps. Okay, so here by eating the butchered chimps, means by eating these chimpanzees, the virus that is there in the flesh is being transferred or carried to the human beings, and then from then on this disease is being carried. This disease is being carried from one person to another person. From one person to another person from then on. But it is early, it is being detected in what? Monkeys and chimpanzees. From them it is being transferred or carried to the human beings, and from then on it is being spreading from one person to another person. And in the last 25 years, if you are seeing, 25 years or so, if you are seeing, there are more than 25 million people. There are more than 25 million people who are killed, all over the whole world because of suffering with AIDS. So just because of the AIDS, there are 25 million people who are killed all over the world. If you are looking at in the last 25 years or so. So now let us try to understand what is the causative agent of AIDS. The disease called as AIDS. So what is the causative agent, or otherwise we call it as what? Pathogen. Pathogen means what? Disease causing microbe. Disease causing microbe. So we are now going to understand the name of that microbe which is causing this disease called as AIDS. Causing the disease called as AIDS. Now, if you are looking at the causative agent, for the first time, Americans, named that particular agent or pathogen as HCLV3. They named that particular pathogen as HCLV3, which means human cell leukemia virus. Human cell leukemia virus 3. Human cell leukemia virus 3 is the name that is given by the Americans for the first time for the virus which is causing the AIDS. Disease called as AIDS. Later on, the name is changed. The name is changed as HIV. The name is changed as HIV. Now, at present, and we are calling the name of the pathogen which is causing AIDS as what? HIV. Please remember. So we have to remember what is the pathogen that is causing the disease called as AIDS? It is HIV. So what do you mean by the word HIV? Human immunodeficiency virus. Human immunodeficiency virus. HIV virus. Human immunodeficiency virus. In full form. In short form we are calling it as HIV. Is the name of the virus which is causing the disease called as AIDS. Which is causing the disease called as AIDS. Now, if you are looking about this particular virus in detail, now we can say that when you are looking at this particular virus, HIV virus, this virus belongs to the type called as what? Retrovirus. It belongs to a group of viruses called as retrovirus, which is a very important point, and we have to keep this point in our mind. Please remember this. The type of virus, HIV, is what? Retrovirus. Please remember this. The type of virus, the HIV is a type of virus which is called as what? Retrovirus. It belongs to the group called as retrovirus. Please remember that. It is a type of virus which is called as retrovirus. This is a very important point and I am repeating it. Please remember. And what it attacks? This HIV virus will attack which cells in our body? We already covered in simple explanation, and we are making it very clear here that HIV virus attacks the T helper cells. In simple, what we call the T cells. So here, which cells are being destroyed by the HIV virus? It is the T helper cells. Please remember, T helper cells are being destroyed by the HIV virus. Please remember this. T helpers. These are the points which are crucial for objective part also. So you have to remember this. So what is the type of virus which is causing AIDS? Retrovirus. The name of the virus is human immunodeficiency virus. In short, we are calling it as HIV virus. And it attacks which cells in our body? T helper cells. T helper cells, which are main cells in cell-mediated immune system. And what is the shape of this virus? It is spherical and it is enveloped. It is spherical and enveloped. We will be looking at this in detail as we are going further. It is spherical and enveloped. And what is the size of this virus? It is about 90 to 120 nanometers in diameter. Please remember the size also. Okay, 90 to 120 nanometers in diameter. And especially where most of the children will get confused is about its genome. Okay, about its genome. Okay, its genetic material that is there. Okay, enclosed in this. Enclosed in this envelope. Enclosed in this envelope. What is the genome that is there? Single-stranded RNA filament. Single-stranded RNA filament. Okay, single-stranded ribonucleic acid. Okay, ribonucleic acid. ssRNA. Single-stranded ribonucleic acid filament. Okay, the genome of the HIV virus is ssRNA filament. Here, simple point, and we have to be very careful with this, is that this single-stranded RNA is segmented into two identical filaments, which means if this is the virus which is spherical enclosed by the envelope, okay, the RNA will be in two strands like this. In simple understanding, it is there in two strands, single-stranded RNA but segmented into two identical filaments. Identical filaments. That's why it is considered as what? Diploid. Okay, it is considered as diploid. Why it is considered as diploid? The single-stranded RNA is present as two segmented filaments. Okay, two segmented identical filaments. So sometimes it is considered as what? Diploid. Okay, it is considered as diploid. Otherwise we call it as what? Haploid. So why it is considered as diploid? Because the genome, that is single-stranded RNA, is present as two identical filaments. That's why it is considered as diploid. Okay, these are some points we have to keep in mind, and we will see some more simple points. And now if you are seeing here, the HIV virus will also produce one enzyme called as reverse transcriptase. Okay, please remember this. For objective part, it is very important. Okay, the enzyme that is produced by the HIV virus is reverse transcriptase. Okay, reverse transcriptase. And here it also has coat. Okay, it also has the coat. HIV virus is also having the coat, and this coat is of two protein layers. Okay, two protein coats will be there. These two protein coats are present around the single-stranded RNA. Around the single-stranded RNA that is there in the HIV virus, it is covered by two protein coats. Which means, say suppose if these are the two single-stranded RNAs, around these there are two protein coats that will be present like this. And here we also should remember that reverse transcriptase enzyme is being produced. And next is the envelope. Okay, envelope. Here we said the envelope is lipid bilayer. We are saying lipid bilayer, which means it is made up of lipid layer. Okay, this is the lipid layer, and this lipid layer is what? It is of two layers. So that's why we are saying it as lipid bilayer. Okay, it is made up of two layers, means bilayer we are calling it as. So actually we are calling this as what? As the envelope. Okay, as the envelope. So here is the envelope. But this envelope is made up of what? Lipid bilayer. Two layers are there. So these two layers together we are calling it as envelope. So what are these two protein layers called as coats? Okay, two protein coats we are calling. Okay, two protein coats we are calling it as. So what are these two filaments? These are single-stranded RNA filaments. Okay, single-stranded RNA filaments. So what are these that are there here? These are the, we can say that this is reverse transcriptase enzyme. Okay, reverse transcriptase enzyme. Okay, reverse transcriptase enzyme is this which we are labeling here. And now you are saying that this lipid layer are formed as the envelope around the HIV virus. From where it is derived? Please remember, it is derived from the host cell membrane. Host cell membrane means what? We already said that HIV virus is attacking which cells? T helper cells. Major, most important cells in the immune system, T helper cells. So these T helper cells are having what? The cell membrane. That cell membrane is what? Lipid bilayer. So this HIV virus, say suppose, look at here, if you are taking this as our cells, T helper cell, let us say that this is the T helper cell. When the virus enters inside, this virus is destroying this cell and consuming this lipid layer, and this lipid layer is used as the envelope around the newly formed HIV virus. Around the newly formed HIV virus. Okay, so that's why we are saying it as the envelope that is there around the HIV virus is lipid layer, and this lipid layer is derived from the host cell membrane. Host means what? Which cells it is being seen? Helper cells. So the T helper cells, okay, that cell membrane which is of lipid layer is being consumed or used for the formation of the envelope in the newly formed HIV viruses in the host cells, that are T helper cells. Those are T helper cells. And in the same way, it is having the projecting knob-like glycoproteins. Okay, it is having the knob-like glycoproteins called as the spikes with what? Pedicels. Okay, spikes with pedicels means it will be having throughout its body like this. Okay, spikes with pedicels. So let us say that these are the pedicels and these are the spikes. So like this it will be showing. Okay, spikes with pedicels. And these spikes with pedicels are nothing but what? Made up of glycoproteins. Okay, made up of glycoproteins. This is a rough diagram that I am showing just to keep in mind how this HIV virus will be appearing. Okay, we will be seeing in the next video how actually this HIV virus is present. Okay, but otherwise we have to remember all these simple points, and in the next video we are going to discuss about the mode of infection. So when we are talking about the mode of infection, we will also see and label the parts of this HIV virus. Okay, HIV virus. Thank you so much.